promise me you won't ever hit the dog, okay?
Oh, well, you promised last thing I fancy's having a drink.
Oh, yeah. All right. Sorry, I was talking to Nikki. How you doing?
Do I know you?
Well, yeah, you could say that.
From uni?
I brought your bag back.
I don't think so, that's not my bag.
Nikki, it's your bag. You left it by the bed. It's got your things in it, look.
Okay. Yeah, so, who are you?
Nikki, you were all over me last night.
What do you mean, all over you?
At the party. In bed. You never told me you had a boyfriend.
I think you better go.
I wouldn't have slept with you if you'd told me.
What do you mean you wouldn't have? You didn't?
You're not telling me you were that drunk you can't remember.
I'm really sorry about last night, but now will you just go?
Great, fine, okay. Thanks for the memory.
Hi and welcome to Safety Live. We've got an absolutely jam-packed programme for you today, looking at all different kinds of ways to protect you and your colleagues from injury in your day-to-day job. We're going to look at all aspects of how to lift, handle and move objects in store safely. We're here in PC World and Curry's in Watford, where we'll be joining colleagues who'll be showing us how to put great manual handling techniques into practice. This show is all about you and your safety at work. And because of these ridiculously high figures and the likelihood that 1 in 10 of you will actually damage your back at some point, we wanted to show you how your back is put together and how it works. Let's go over to Safety Live's London studio, where James is talking with Lawrence about all things spinal. Let's have a look at that again. He approaches the lift correctly, he bends his knees, he gets a good grip close to his body, and he goes for the lift. Back straight and using his leg muscles rather than putting all the strain on his back. And he lifts. Look at that. No twisting, great foot position and no back damage. Fantastic. Hello again. I'm going to meet some colleagues now and we're going to show you a few situations that you might find yourself in and how to deal with them. I wanted to find out how they move a flat panel TV, and those larger ones can weigh something, I can tell you. From the stock room to the display on the shop floor. I'm here with Tina and Dax. You can see how difficult it is for one person to move this TV. You've got to get some help here. The biggest problem with lifting with 2 or more people is communication. So use tile and plan the lift, the move, the lower and the release together. With 1, 2, 3, do you lift before the 3, on the 3 or after? Decide beforehand. 3, 2, 1, lift, with the lift on the word lift works the best. Some large items have handholds, others don't, so use the clamp grip. Stance is really important and it keeps you safe. Okay, so what about a mixed pallet delivery that needs unloading? Let's go over to the dock. You get a lot of different varieties of sizes of boxes on your pallets. I mean, do you have to be careful with it all?
Yeah, absolutely, because a lot of boxes are heavier than they look, so you need to be careful every single time.
Right, okay. So for example, if I had to move this Serrano table at the bottom, what would I do to go about that?
Well, as these particular stands are over 20 kilograms, I would advise to get a colleague to help you out.
Now that's a really big fridge freezer. I wonder how they get it there. You've got to remember the potential risks. This means that you've got to change your behaviour to minimise those risks and painful injuries. And please look out for your colleagues. If you see something that could be a problem, do something about it. Don't just leave it until it turns into a dangerous situation. Well, we're almost through, so a big thank you for watching and we hope you've enjoyed the programme. Using the right manual handling techniques is vital to keeping you and your colleagues safe and injury-free. But surprisingly, if you use the right techniques, you'll actually find it so much more easier to shift things. And remember, if you need help, just ask. Don't struggle along and put yourself at risk. It's just not worth it. It's a great idea to put these techniques in use in everyday life. Thanks a lot and we'll see you soon.
So the fella's standing there, as I say, we don't normally go to these kinds of entertainments, but as I say, this one was really super. The fella's standing there and he's Robin Hood out of it. He's got the leggings and the tunic and the bow and arrow and the feather coming out the top of his head. And as I say, he's playing all the parts himself. So he's the stag that Robin Hood's going to fire his blooming arrow at. And he's going hell for leather with the antlers coming out of his head, isn't he? And he's Robin Hood chasing after him and his merry men. And he's got the bow and arrow poised. He's got the feather coming out the top of his hat. And me and Sonny are sitting there, the tears rolling down our faces. And he fires the blooming arrow and he's shot, of course. As I say, we don't normally go to these kinds of things. It loses a little in translation, but did you want more coffee? OK. Jump, please.
I can't! Yeah, write it yourself.
I'm getting buried. People cry more at burials. I want them sobbing their guts out.
So when did you have Phil then?
I told you that party. May the 1st election night.
Didn't think he was your type.
Well, he wasn't, was he? He was half lard. I was telling that boy, what's his name? Big Bob was in there somewhere.
You've had Big Bob?
If that's what he calls big, I'm a fucking colossus.
Is there anyone you haven't had?
He said, that's it. I'm dying. I'm off. So he wrote all this down. His last request.
We were pub friends, you know?
No wedding, no grandchildren.